Hey everybody, it's Alika Lifty, and today let's brew our Colombia La Palma Susana Cortèz Bioinnovation as a filter offering. We have another Neighbors and Crops Bioinnovation coffee, and it brews very similarly. It wants to drain pretty fast. We need to slow that down a little bit by grinding a little bit more fine, but we're gonna have a faster drain time overall, and that's all right. So we have got our standard V60 recipe, like we did with the last Colombia Bioinnovation. So really similar recipe, really similar drain time, really similar mouthfeel and complexity of this coffee, but we are going to get different flavors. So really nice citrus, really nice malic acid, baking spices, and a little bit of honey graham cracker. So really nice flavor palette on this coffee in a really straightforward brew. So we're gonna use a Hario V60. We're gonna be brewing with 15 grams of our coffee and 250 grams of water. Our coffee's ground medium fine. This was 17 clicks on my Comandante C40. This will be about 9 on your Baratza Encore. And we're gonna be brewing with 205 to 210 degree Fahrenheit water. So pretty hot water, pretty fine grind setting. Let's wet our paper filter and get brewing. So I always like to hold that filter in place before I take my hand off while I'm wetting this. Let that drain. I'm not very concerned with preheating for this recipe. This coffee wants to be soluble, it wants to extract, it just drains really fast, so it will still drain pretty quick even with this fine grind setting. That's all right, just taste it and see. Let's dose our coffee. And as usual with our standard V60 recipe, I've got a small stir stick. You can use a chopstick, you can use the back end of like a fork, something like that. Something pretty small that's not gonna offer us a lot of agitation, but let us break apart any clumps inside of this V60. So my scale is taired, I've got a timer ready to go. My kettle is ready, and let's brew. So first I'm gonna bloom 40 grams of water. So a little smaller than usual. I just wanna be careful. Not let too much water drain through. Break apart those clumps. That's all we need to do with that stir stick. And I'm gonna let this bloom for 30 seconds, and at 30 seconds, I'm gonna punch it really heavy in the middle of my V60, bring this water all the way up to 150 grams total. Boom, right in the middle, heavy circles, bring this up to 150. There we go. Let this drain at 1 minute, hit it again, finishing off all the way to 250. So you can see this is draining pretty quickly. Pretty gaseous coffee, and that's all right. Now the thing with our grind size, so we don't want this to drain all the way through, so I'm gonna hit this again, punch it here in the middle. I'm gonna give a quick spiral, push all this coffee back underneath, come back to the middle, finish off, 250. So this was draining even faster for me just now. I could grind a little bit more fine. I don't want this water to drain all the way through before that 1 minute mark, so that's why I hit it again. If you find that happening, just pour. We're gonna be all right. Really fast drain time. So I expect this to drain in under a minute. If it drains completely through before that time is finished, it's gonna be a little tart, it's gonna be a little weak. It's gonna be really hard for this coffee to drain too long, quite honestly. Like, I don't imagine that happening. But if it does, we're gonna cover up that acidity with these baking spices. It's gonna be really muddled and no flavor clarity whatsoever. But when we are balanced, we're going to get tart apple, we're gonna get red cranberry, Concord grape, baking spices, and sweet honey graham cracker. It's really nice. All right, serve and enjoy.